Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So I've had people messaging me, tagging, sending over the one of the new cards, I guess. Well, new, it's not really new, it has been out in the OCG, but it's new for us TCG players, a new Morphtronic card. There are more Morphtronic cards, but I think this one, the Telefon, is the most notable one. You probably know the thing with Telefon is you can roll like a dice. Once per copy, by the way, so it's not restricted to once per turn to its card name. And then basically reborn a Morphtronic from the graveyard, depending on, the die roll. Doesn't really matter since Telefon on its own, it's a level 1. So short set, it's like you can reborn each other. If that makes sense. So as soon as you have one in the graveyard and you have one on the field, in attack position, that's important, you can like loop between them. And then it's basically an infinite link summon, synchro summon, whatever you want to do. And not too long ago, I saw people buying out, getting a Cannon Soldier, and doing Cannon Soldier right, and I was like, what's happening? But it kind of makes sense, but don't fall for the bait. It's cute, it's cool. I think there's like two ways to go for the FTK. Obviously, you want to FTK with this strategy, I guess. The first one is something I tried out, like pure Morphtronics, as in with Small World, the machine with the Gizmek level 2, the Lone Fire Blossom, I believe that, it's not the correct name, but you know which one I mean if you tried out the deck, and again, I forgot the names are there. No, they are not in the side deck, but they have like new machines from Power of the Elements as well that kind of search your Telefon directly, so, and get it on the field. So it could work, but I feel then you're playing a lot of normal summons, a lot of bricks as well. So I feel this is the other way. I feel not going to lie, going first, the percentage of FTKing your opponent is high, definitely high. Problem is, nowadays this is actually the first, like try hand, right? Like going first, this FTK is super consistent. Danger FTK from, what was it, 2019, 2020, 2019, something like that, was again one of the most consistent FTKs ever. Problem is that if you're playing, for example, going first against decks that play, let's say, half of their deck hand traps, then it's a hard time, because, as you know, dangers, Ash is not really the best against them. Imperm Failure, I guess, on Saryuja, again, you're pretty much using the same strategy as Danger FTK as it was back in 2019. But, so what I was saying, again, the point, what's the point of the deck? The goal, you never heard of this, strategy before. Probably you did, but again, the goal is to get one cell phone in the graveyard. It's also a tuner, by the way, so you can search it off of Helki. You have Chaos Ruler to mill the card, so it's actually not that hard. I'm not a fan of machine duplication. You can run that in Morphtronic decks, in machine decks, or whatever. But I feel, again, this is more consistent of getting off the FTK. Going second, though. Going second, as you know, dangers are pretty good going second. You have Thunderbird, Bigfoot as well to, potentially plow through your opponent's negations. Then again, if we, take a look at the current format, post Power of the Elements with Sprite having multiple negations, double toe, it's hard. As you saw, there is a side deck for that. So again, like, Imagine if you take this deck to a tournament. Again, you obviously want to go first, as it was back, with Danger FTK, back in the, I was about to say old school days, but back in 2019. But back in 2019, it definitely wasn't a problem going second because of the decks back then. The format is now much different. This strategy is heavily format dependent, right? To succeed, and again, depending on which hand traps are meta relevant and so on. So I think that speaks for itself. But you have stuff like Saryuja to draw, Saryuja special summons. Imagine your Cannon Soldier being in the graveyard. You have something like Cross Sheep to get it back on the field. You have Firewall Dragon to get it back from the graveyard. So again, there Levier, maybe it gets banished. So you have multiple ways to dig for your strategy. And again, going first, you can play through one hand trap, it's not a problem. Ash, Veiler, Imperm, definitely doable. Two might be a problem. Then again, going second, obviously, let's say if you're not going first game number one, Game number 2 and 3, there's your side deck. But then there is the problem with, you know, the danger strategy is that you can't play too many non-engine cards. As you know, or if you're like a danger god that, you know, your opponent always picks or doesn't pick the revealed danger, you're probably good. But that's not the case. So you can't afford to play too many non-engine cards, and with that I mean Dark Ruler no more. Again, fantastic against you know, a field of Toad, Sprite Elf, and you know the standard Sprite fields, right? That they are going to end on, maybe Winda for something like Tier Elements. So Dark Ruler is definitely there. There's definitely other options, like the new secret rare from Power of the Elements. You know which one I mean. Send something from your extra deck to the graveyard, something like the Evil Twin. You know which one. To potentially pop something else as well if you send like Entis, for example. It's one of the new secret rares from the set. Very good card. Standard staple, I guess, for the side deck. But like here's an example. Again, and a good example too, like back in 2019, going second, what was fine. The format was different. What was it? Sky Strikers and so on. So slow decks, dangers can grind through that. But now it's much different. Multiple negations, more hand traps, definitely more hand traps. And even though you will see it, I think I'm going to draw Dark Ruler. Yeah, okay. This is cute, but I miss with danger. So imagine, you know, the Chuchinoko special summoning itself, getting a draw might have been another danger, but you see, that's not really consistent. So, long story short, again, you know, seeing titles on YouTube, end of Yu-Gi-Oh, what's this? Relax, it's cute. It's really cute. I'm actually the second idea that I wanted to try out this deck with was Hyper Librarians. Is again, your Telefon is a tuner, so I mean in theory it should be good. Get out the Librarian and then keep reborning, because again it's not once per turn for each copy, to kind of abuse that and keep synchroing up to a board of a couple of negations. But then again, if Toon Cannon Soldier or Cannon Soldier is still legal, why not go for the FTK strategy in the first place, right? So, short set. It's a cool deck. It's a cool idea. Not really new, not really super highly competitive. Like, going first, the FTK potential is really high. Like, it's one of the most consistent FTKs ever, because again, the full danger package. But going second, and that's where the problem is in tournament environment, multiple rounds, regionals, locals, or YCS or whatever, this deck is not going to make it, definitely not. But nonetheless, Telefon is definitely an interesting card, you know, loops and so on. So have you tried out the card? Let me know. Suggestions for builds, suggestions for this build, definitely let me know. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Peace.